either live by the gun or you die by the sword.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Jack Frost dying in a car crash and being resurrected as a sentient snowman who melts in 2 days. Welcome to the Good, the Bad, the Weird podcast, MicroViews. I'm Nicho.
And I'm Chris, and I'm also really mad you made me watch this.
I am so glad I could spread the weird holiday cheer that was 1998 Jack Frost that, for some reason, I remembered quite fondly as a kid, but, yeah.
Nicho, this movie is so bad.
I know it is. I know it is.
So bad. This movie makes the same nut joke 3 times.
Yes.
And I'm not being like, oh, it's a running... No, it's the same joke about snowman nuts. 3 separate times.
Yeah.
Ugh.
This movie is... I don't know why it's back in the cultural
I think
wheelhouse.
maybe because it's free for streaming somewhere.
I don't know.
Have y'all watched it? Is that why we're talking about it? Because that's the only reason, is that you recently remembered how bad it is.
No, I mean, we planned this like months ago, so
I know we did.
I think it was just I was going through like classic holiday movies that I remembered.
Okay, in your defense, when you like Google like classic holiday family friendly films, this one does show up. This movie has no business being on a list.
So for those unfamiliar with Jack Frost, it's about a father who gets killed in a car crash, and his son somehow magically revives him into a snowman. Yes,
but also it's weirdly both and not Christmas themed all at the same time.
It is more Christmassy than I think you think about it, because everything does happen around Christmas. He dies trying to get back home for Christmas. He gets resurrected and then goes away at the end of at the next Christmas.
He does, but his name is Jack Frost, so that they have a pun.
Yes.
And his band is a blues band that only plays Christmas songs.
Yes.
No wonder they've not been doing well.
I have so many questions about this movie, but real quick, I do want to get through the cast.
Yeah, state all 3 people in this movie.
Story by Mark Steven Johnson, with screenplay by Johnson, Steve Bloom, Jonathan Roberts, and Jeff Cesaro. Directed by Troy Miller.
This is his first directorial debut.
I think it's like one of his very, very few. I think he mostly did music videos. So
I don't blame him.
The music aspect makes a little bit more sense why he was brought in.
It does.
But starring Michael Keaton as Jack Frost, Kelly Preston as Gabby Frost, and Joseph Cross as Charlie Frost, and a small bit part by Henry Rollins is the coach for some reason.
Yeah. It should be noted that originally Keaton's role was going to be given to George Clooney. George Clooney eventually backed out, but he did agree originally, which is why the snowman puppet looks like George Clooney.
Interesting. So we had both Batmans up for this role.
We did. George Clooney backed out, and when George Clooney backed out, and you'll have to forgive me, I didn't feel at the time it important enough to write down, but there was another director originally assigned to this as well, and when George Clooney backed out, that director also said peace, and thus Troy Miller was brought on from the depths of the music-making world to work on this.
Well, my initial thoughts on rewatching this is that someone saw that old Campbell's Soup commercial with the snowman commercial where the kid comes in as
When did that commercial come out?
It had to be around this time, because I remember seeing that commercial, and I didn't have commercials from 2000 to 2003, so it had to be somewhere in the 90s.
I also saw that commercial, and for a long time, because I hated this movie, and I also wasn't a fan of that commercial, I like blended them in my mind as like the same franchise, even though I would argue the Campbell's Snowman arguably slightly less terrifying.
It's way less terrifying because it's just a cold kid, whereas this one is like they saw
a dead man.
Yeah, they saw that commercial and they're like, but what if it was possessed by the soul of the dead dad because family trauma? Yeah,
also the family trauma in this movie is both so sad and also so light compared to other Christmas family movies. Well, not to like make light of anyone's troubles, but it's a very strange problem to have in a Christmas film.
Because the movie takes so long to get anywhere.
Yes.
We spend like 45 minutes, maybe an hour, 41 minutes building the entire family before we kill the dad off.
Yes.
And like half that 41 minutes, we barely see the family, and it's so focused on Jack Frost's band being successful. And it's just like one of those things where I'm watching this and I'm like, who goes this wild for Christmas blues music? Like, I've been to the Trans-Siberian Orchestra concert.
Same. It's a delight, yeah.
But that's a whole other rigmarole. That's a whole different performance. Like, lights, pyrotechnics, like...
And also, like, they have music outside of Christmas. Granted, their Christmas performance is their most popular, and they do the whole tour for Christmas. Like, they know where their money is.
Yeah, I mean, their Beethoven album's great, but...
Yeah, but in the same breath, this feels like if Celine Dion did only Christmas stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, that's when she defrosts every year, and we all pay her thousands of dollars to keep using her beautiful voice. But this band only does Christmas stuff. There's no other stuff.
Well, we only see them play like 2 songs the entire movie.
That is also a little weird, because also the music for this movie, none of it's original, minus kind of the Christmas blues song, which is more of an amalgamation from a couple of different creators. And so this is a very strange movie to be like, what if we just threw like well-known pop songs on it?
Yeah.
Like, this would be, out of all of the movies, this would be the movie to have get an original band to like make you music.
You would think,
but that's not what they did.
Oh man, I wonder where some of the budget in this. Well, the budget I guarantee.
I know where the budget went
into the very rough CGI. That is,
and also for some unknown reason, they chose to have the puppet created by the Jim Henson Creature group. Which, don't get me wrong, they're very good. That might have been money we didn't need to spend on a snowman puppet.
Yeah, I probably cut the cost because, granted, this is 98, so you add a lot of CGI to the movie, you got the budget, and probably they're working on, like, they've gone through a bunch of people, so they're having to really rush this out.
They are definitely having to really rush this, because I know there was a couple of rewrites that were kind of, like, big to the storyline, which is part of the reason why the man's name is Jack Frost, and then the only joke that runs through with that is the fact that he's a snowman. Has nothing to do with the original Jack Frost characters, which does feel a little weird because Jack Frost was a popular character in the early 90s.
Well, so I do have some thoughts. I wonder if this movie is... I didn't even look up which studio made this movie. It's distributed by Warner Brothers.
So it could be anyone. It could be a lot of people.
Well, no, I mean, it's the Azoff Entertainment and the Canton Company for the production companies, but distributed by Warner Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if it's their response to the Santa Claus, because there are a lot of similarities in between the two of these.
I see it.
Yeah, one, the kid's name is Charlie.
Granted,
he's also the perfect little kid, same like in this movie where he's like the straight A student. There's nothing going bad in his life until his dad dies.
True. Granted, in their defense, Charlie was a popular TV kid's name at the time.
Yeah,
so
well, it's not just that. It's also the harmonica. I get it's
the harmonica was a bit much, yeah.
Yes, but I think it's their response to the snow globe in Tim Allen's Santa Claus movie of like, just call me back whenever it can. And that's the thing, is like, this makes... like, no sense of, like, where this magic even really comes from, other than, like, he misses his dad so much, he just blows into a harmonica and summons him in. And not even, like, just summons him as, like, a ghost or something. Transplant, like...
turns him into a snowman.
Yeah, puts his soul into a snowman.
And a part that we've glossed over is this movie happens on 2 different Christmases.
Yes.
He dies on one Christmas, a whole year goes by, and then the next Christmas, he is resurrected as a snowman for 2 days.
Yeah, no, it is such a hard, like, shift from... And again, I think it's because it takes 41 minutes to get to the dad dying, and there's not even really, like, a buildup of their relationship, because it's like, hey, concert, hey, I missed... That's the other thing, too.
Yes.
He misses the hockey game, which he also misses... Charlie's thing in the Santa Claus. Or he's late to pick him up.
Yeah, he's late to pick him up.
Turbo Man it's the one, that's how he misses his karate tournament. That's what I'm getting that one mixed up. Again, a lot of similar plots.
There is, but here's where I think the writers did definitely see all those other ideas, and then they thought about them way too much.
Mm-hmm.
Because this dad, unlike Tim Allen's character, who is unobjectively just a shitty dad in that movie, right? Like, he's like quantifiably like very much an asshole of a person, and that affects his son. This man, I'd argue, is not really a shitty dad. He's prioritizing his career. I will agree there. Prioritizing his career, however, he takes time with his kid. He definitely knows them. His wife loves him dearly. His son loves him dearly. His only downside is that he is prioritizing his Christmas-based career during Christmas. This is something the family just needs to discuss outside of this.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing too, because they have that kind of like heart-to-heart moment in the bed where she's just like, she's clearly the breadwinner, and he's just like, I'm sorry, I'm following my passion. I appreciate you doing this for me.
There's so many lines like that throughout the whole movie where like they are so close to just being a normal family that this, like, I hate to say it, but for a Christmas movie, this isn't quite enough bad guyness for him to have to like come back as a snowman.
Well, yeah, it's not even that, or like it's not that he's a bad guy. It's that there's not enough of that emotional connection of, we just see him miss one game. He promises he'll be back. Oh, he'll go to their cabin. He'll be there for Christmas Day. And that's the whole conflict we've had with the family, is the one chance he has to break out also ruins like their holiday, can potentially ruin the family holiday. And then even then, like, he quits halfway to there, and now the band has to drive back to one of their mom's place for Christmas dinner.
And here's the thing. This is clearly where the writer has thought way too much about the other movies and tried to incorporate, like, the best of all of those into this movie to, like, amplify it. But it fundamentally doesn't work because, again, his entire career is freaking Christmas-based. Of course he's going to miss Christmas. If he succeeds, he's going to miss every Christmas from now until he dies.
Yeah.
That Celine Dion's family would love to see her during Christmas, I bet, too.
Probably. But that's the thing, too, is, like, they go so hard from him dying to, like, a year later.
Oh my god, the whiplash.
I will give credit to the kid of actually, like, acting pretty sad and mopey.
Yes.
Like, I think of the children actors in this movie, he does a convincing enough job of being that kid who's, like, dealing with his dad missing, whereas, like,
I agree.
Charlie and the Santa Claus is, like...
He's too much of a kid.
Yeah, too much of a kid, whereas, like, this one, he's a little bit mature, and, like, that's the other thing, too, is, like, how the movie bounces back and forth. I think it has a very hard time where it hasn't decided who's the main character, because the dad goes from the concert to the kid leaving school and being, like, the small-time hero, saving the younger kids from the bigger kids, which... I honestly, I thought
such a weird thing.
That snowball fight was so epic for me when I was a kid.
You would have loved the snowball fight in Elf.
Yes and no.
Because, okay, here's my dilemma, is this movie does not do any effort to have, like, magic or extras be part of this family. They just happen to be a Christmas-themed family for no reason whatsoever.
Yeah, just to kind of sell the point of, oh, he's Jack Frost.
And so, why... The entire children of this, all the children of this town think Charlie's the hot shit, and then he loses friends because he's a little depressed and is no longer the hot shit. This is like a weird line to have in a family-friendly movie that's supposed to be a lighthearted comedy about a snowman.
Yeah,
this is such a whiplash. This is so strange.
It's supposed to make him so down that that's the magic that summons his dad for some reason, and like that I'll get into it maybe a little bit later. But there's some questions I have, especially with how this movie ends. But there are so many other bad things about this movie, and first off, the set of their street.
My god.
It is such a dead street. There is nothing going on there. You know, on top of that, the snow, you can tell so bad.
It's so fake.
That it's a box. There's just people walking on top of boxes, basically.
100%. This movie, that's the disappointing part, is there's a lot of bad in this movie, but if it looked good, I think a lot of people would, like, forgive it, and I would probably also. It doesn't look CGI bad. You know, this isn't like, a B movie.
The snowman CGI is bad.
But
the issue with the set is that it has such a hard stop
Yes.
that I haven't thought about how bad of a set looks like since we did Seven Brides for Seven Brothers.
Which was meant to look like a stage at least.
Yeah, it's an old movie that's supposed to be like that, but like this one
just looks like it's in a box.
Oh man,
like you can feel the edge of the world.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes, exactly.
Like this whole movie takes place in a snow globe. Could have been a good ending, honestly.
Yeah, actually that would have worked a lot better, but again, you can't do that because that's taking too much from the Santa Claus. It's got to be about the music because even when he goes out to shovel, the shovel either has a band sticker on it or
that's true.
The band for some reason sells snow shovels as merch.
I choose that one. That's what I'm going with. No, okay, and here's my other gripes and complaints is while Charlie's actor is a very good child actor, he does portray some very good emotions for, loss and grief, which I do think that this movie manages to portray well. The rest of the children actors are normal Christmas children actors, and so thus having this, honestly very good child actor in with very cheesy, very silly, standard, snowball fight!
Oh, man.
Sort of nonsense. Feels like Charlie is like a weird elf child who shouldn't be in this movie.
Yeah, so there's a couple things with that, too. I think what also makes this movie have such whiplash to it, too, is the other, cool, quote-unquote, cool kids are the bullies.
Yeah.
Where...
oh my god.
One, everyone is a little bit too dumb at times. Because, when he comes back and the dad's throwing the snowballs, and they're like, the Wizard of Blizzard, it's like, dude, Charlie is standing on the ridge of the hill, and somehow these balls are magically flying from behind him. No one is questioning that at all, of just he's got up there and is magically throwing snowballs at these kids.
Here's the other thing that is very strange, is, again, with some of these other, heavily Christmas is the theme movies, where, a terrible but example being, the Christmas Print series, where Christmas is literally the entire country's economic system.
Yeah.
At least that one, they go a little bit out of their way to be like, oh, we are the outdoor winter wonderland. This movie tries to, tell you that they are a normal northern-ish Midwestern...
Colorado. It's set in specifically Colorado.
You're totally right. This is a normal Colorado family whose entire town is so obsessed with snowball fights that they have an entire snowball fight field already prepped and ready to go.
Well, they also have to remind you it's Colorado because it's like the Little Vampire when they tried so hard to make the kids from the United States. This one is
they're trying really hard.
Yeah, his entire room is posters of Colorado, and
which feels really weird because, and granted, I understand that even when this movie came out in the 90s. That hockey was a popular thing everywhere. But in the 90s, hockey was kind of like the Canadians thing. This movie would have made more sense in Canada, not Colorado.
No, I think it would have worked in Colorado, but you gotta remember, for me, I lived in Alaska at that time, so, hockey was the sport that we would go and watch, so, I mean...
No, I totally get that, but they have their entire street blocked off so the kids can play hockey out front.
Yeah.
For a TV, go more north. Don't be in Colorado. North. More north.
I could see it in Colorado.
I can also, but for the 90s, it feels weird. This feels like they're trying very hard to shoehorn it in and be like, look, we are normal. And you're like, you're not normal.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing, too. So, when we go back and look at something like Snow Day, which arguably isn't a good movie either.
No, it's not.
That one at least has some believability to this. Because, when they do the whole snowboard chase scene...
Correct,
and, all the kids are, the X Games kind of extreme snowboarding.
Yes.
And, they have these giant boulders that they're just dropping. It's do these kids prepare for, these extreme chases down the side of mountains?
Which is why I'm going to praise Elf in this moment, because Elf also has a ridiculous snowball fight. Makes more sense, because a ton of kids all in the city, this is what they've been doing all day, it's a snow day, and he has elf magic.
Yeah.
So of course, the extraness makes sense. He's been training with literally the Navy SEALs of snowball fighting his whole life.
Yeah.
This movie makes no sense. Is Charlie it feels like at some point they had written this to be Jack Frost had Christmas magic in his bloodline and it's passed down to Charlie. And then they were like, wait, no. We gotta maybe get rid of that.
Well, so I think thinking about it, the magic works a little bit because he puts his dad's scarf and he puts his dad's hat on him.
It's so light and so loose, and then it ends with such a bleh.
Yeah, well, because there's quite a few other things that, like, I don't like. The humor in this is rough.
The humor in this is real rough.
Like, when he plays with the snow tits, funny when I was a kid, but...
It does not stand the test of time. And here's the other problem, is the humor relies really heavily on you also thinking that Jack's dad is cool.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not.
No, he's not. And, like, there's other bits, too, of, like, that are a little over the top, like Henry Rollins rightfully freaking out about a talking snowman. And that's the other thing, too, is, like, he is the only one who has a normal response to this, whereas, like...
Yeah.
Charlie brings out, like, the snow dryer to, like, melt him to death. And then also, like, immediately, like, okay, you're my dad because you said the one thing that you called me by the nickname that my dad called me by.
Yeah, weak sauce. Yeah,
no, it's really dumb. And especially, like, how they have to force this movie to keep going with this is the only time we've ever had this heat wave this time of year. It's such
so
a weak
strange
way to push the plot of, like, getting him to force him to, like, oh, I have to see my son make this goal. And, like, that's the thing is, like, I get, once the dad is back, there's, like, 20, maybe 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm just so tired of this movie. Because, like, at the 30-minute, like, there was 30 minutes left, and I'm like, I just want this to be over because I really do not care about, like, oh, he's connecting with his son to, like, teach him how to actually shoot the puck and get him that one goal that he got to see, but his mom misses now.
Yeah, okay, and here's the other thing. And again, this is why it's, like, a weird, like, this is the problem that we're going with for a Christmas movie, is he, like, fulfills his dying wish of seeing his kid play hockey and, like, kind of teaching him a trick shot. And, like, even, like, again, it's one of those, like, weak sauce things where, like, the trouble that he caused as a human, or before he became the wizard snowman thing, much like Tim Allen and his pre-Santa Claus-ness, they just don't work because he wasn't a big enough asshole before he was dead.
No, he wasn't. And that's the other thing, too, is, like, while we have enough story to have him and Charlie reconnect, there's, like, the mom is barely in this movie.
Thank you. Yes.
Outside of, like, the scenes with the husband. And then it gets to, like, that 15-minute point, and I feel like the writers forgot that she's in this movie. And so we're like, oh, by the way, your husband's soul is in this snowman, and then we gotta get him up there, and, like, well, I'll meet you at the cabin, and we completely forget about her again, and she's got, like, 15 seconds at the end of the movie where it's like, sorry, I didn't believe your snowman, or the snowman had your dad's soul in it. It's like, dude, you guys the son gets the closure, and the mom gets 15 seconds with her dead husband.
I would argue that this movie does more harm than good.
Yeah.
Because she has clearly, like, at least come to a spot where she can keep going, because she has to provide for her son. And yes, he is struggling to grasp the death of his father. Of course he is. You know, that's normal. But this movie, like, brings the child hope and then crushes the mother down, being like, here's 15 seconds to reconnect with your dead husband, who you could have been spending 2 days with, but we chose not to tell you.
And you'll hear his soul in the breeze. I will always hear you. And, like, it's just, like, that's where, like, the magic is not explained, because at least Tim Allen Santa Claus has some basic lore that most people would know and that they can base it off of.
I would also argue that the thing that this is trying to be based off of, which is the cartoon Snowman, Frosty the Snowman, also has lore, because that movie has a sequel where they explain that all of the magic is in the hat, and as long as you make a snowman and put a hat on it, it's Frosty!
Yeah, exactly. They get him back to the cabin, and it's supposed to be cold. Why can't they just summon him back every year? I mean,
why can't they just have Christmas with their snowman dad?
Yeah, and
who says they can't?
Yeah, and, like, he's up in the north, like, why is he dying? Like, there's nothing that makes sense other than, like, we have to end this movie on some type of positive note. But, like, hear me out.
Yeah, okay, I'll try.
I would have liked this movie a lot more.
Sure.
If they had, like, put in, the family drama a little bit, whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
but instead bring him back as like a marketing gimmick for the band.
That would have been hilarious.
Where every year they have the sentient snowman named Jack Frost, gimmicky as all hell, but perfect for the Christmas blues like time frame of like being able to like market that. Like
that would have been better.
Add more of like a musical moment to this, because like it doesn't like all the things he does to reconnect with his son is one, show him a hockey trick and do cool snowboarding, sledding stuff together. That is all they do to bond back together.
Also, there is a character we're totally ignoring, and that is his dead bandmate who's trying so desperately to, or his bandmate from his like now defunct band who's trying desperately to be there for his best friend's family.
Yeah.
And they kind of just give that man the middle finger and they're like, fuck you.
Yeah. He barely gets any bit in this movie, but I do like that he's kind of that uncle of like, you maybe don't want your kids to like be babysat because you know he's gonna fall asleep and the kid's gonna get into trouble.
Which he does. He like barricades the door when he's asleep while he's watching him.
Well, he barricades it because he summons his dad.
Dad, snowman, yeah. No, okay, but here's the thing. I actually agree with you. I like the ending that you've thought up where he comes back once a year, because the end of the movie kind of sort of tries to give this poor character a little bit of a revive, because, again, he's lost his best friend and talks about how, like, it's taken all of the music out of his life. He doesn't want to write anymore. He doesn't want to sing anymore. So he just works at the music shop teaching kids lessons and is like, no, I don't know. And in the end, his magic is he, like, feels a little better and maybe he'll start singing again.
Yeah, it's the music that's supposed to bring them back together, but it's such a...
Like, what a better ending would have been, like, hey, actually, call up all of the old homies, like, let's make a band and, like, yeah, we can do our Christmas gigs and then we'll do other stuff the rest of the year. Because our lives don't revolve around Christmas.
Yeah, no, it's just, it's such a weak way of, like, okay, he was so focused on the band and now he's like... okay, now I need to focus on my kid for this one last chance. And
it feels like such a freaking cop-out. Because at least with movies like The Santa Claus, Tim Allen's character has to really change who he is as a person. Mm-hmm. To then work at reconnecting with his son, earning that trust back, reconnect with his ex-wife, and then work through all of that. And granted, while I'm not a Tim Allen fan, I appreciate that they broke that plot up into 3 different segments so that you could like really see how he's still kind of a dick in the second one.
Yeah, well, because that's the thing. The movie was always about reconnecting with his kid and showing him as a deadbeat dad coming back and like spending the holiday together. He doesn't even get that in this movie. It goes from holiday, kid being the cool savior, back to, oh, well, we're going to have family plans. Oh, I got to do my band thing. Oh, I'm dead. And then it's like, oh, now we got to reconnect for the last 40-some minutes.
And here's my biggest gripe.
Okay.
Is this movie does have some good points on loss and hurt, especially from a child's point of view and dealing with grief. But this movie frames it in the same way that Tim Allen's movies try to frame it, where it's over the top and funny and silly, and that doesn't hit the same level of seriousness that I think the movie would have been better suited to, even if he's not an asshole. Get rid of the tit jokes, get rid of the snowman nut jokes, and make this a little bit more serious about processing grief, and I think you might have had a much better, more impactful movie.
Yeah, kill the dad 30 minutes in, don't spend another 10 minutes or 20 minutes in.
Let us see what his whole year was like, because clearly, like, this is impacting him enough that his friend group are, like, ditching him. Like, that's a big thing for a kid.
Yeah.
And we're just gonna be like, oh, he went sledding with the sentient snowman once, and his entire next year is cured? I don't know about that. I don't feel like that's really helpful. Yeah. You know? Like, I don't feel like this is good grief processing.
At least in, like, Santa Claus 2, is that the... Yeah, that's
the one where he has to get a wife.
Yeah, and Charlie's a delinquent.
Yes.
At least that makes a little bit more sense, because that Charlie is well aware that he can't, like, he's gonna look crazy. That he told his dad. This Charlie, on the other hand, or his dad,
his
Santa,
friends already think he's crazy.
Yeah, this one, on the other hand, like, how is he gonna ever talk to anyone of, like, yes, or, like, a future significant other? You're gonna have to tell this story of the Christmas you brought your dad back as a sentient snowman.
And your mom's gonna back you up.
Yeah.
Again, this movie was so close to actually having good points.
And the extreme kid, because he's like, I knew I saw a snowman.
Who, honestly, no one's going to believe anyway.
No.
No, okay, and that's my biggest gripe, is while this movie is remembered for being over-the-toply silly and really bad jokes and, honestly, really bad CGI, it was really close to being a good movie about what it's like to be a kid losing a parent.
Oh, it's way far away from that. I get what you're saying of, like, if you tweaked X, Y, and Z,
we could have gotten there.
But see, that's the thing, that there's so much tweaking that would have had to be done to this movie to make it a good movie.
No, there is so much tweaking that would have had to be done, and unfortunately, some of that tweaking would have been things like changing the entire soundtrack. Honestly, I'm sorry, Michael Keaton, but I don't think you were it.
Yeah.
Like, getting rid of most of the jokes in this film. Or, damn, if we're trying to be the Santa Claus ripoff, go the full other way. Make him worse. Make everyone worse.
Yeah.
At least then, we get, like, a little bit of, like, oh, Christmas magic, I guess you feel better. Make
it a little more black and white rather than the very beigey color this movie is.
Yes. Oh my god, yes.
So, Chris, rent by streamer declined that we ever watched Jack Frost despite having an audio recording of us watching it.
If a friend desperately wanted to stream this movie during a Christmas, run, I guess I'd watch it again. But I won't lie. I watched this movie when it came out. I think I watched it a few years down the road after that too, because a friend thought it was funny. And then I haven't touched it until we watched it for this podcast. And I'm not upset by that life choice. I'm good. I have no desire to own it. This movie's special features were garbage. There was nothing. There's no reason to own this film. Stream it if you must.
Yeah, I'm gonna say stream. Only just to relive what a mess of this movie is and how weird it really is. Because
weird.
Yeah, of like the Christmas family movies we've done, this is by far the most out there one. I mean, granted, we haven't done too many of the family friendly ones, but
sure. But even compared to the ones that I've watched and seen, I'd rather watch one of the stupid B Christmas horror films than this. At least those ones have a giggle.
Yeah, they're at least entertaining in a bad way, whereas this one is just...
It's just painful.
It is such a train wreck to watch.
It really is.
Yeah, but that's Jack Frost, and we have one more, I'm going to put in parentheses, because it is debated, Christmas movie coming down the ventilation shaft.
You know what? Sturdy ventilation shaft it is.
Before we kick off a new kind of spirit for next year with animation.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, some say it's the spirit within that will drive us.
Sure.
But anywho, this has been the Good, the Bad, and the Weird podcast.
Thanks for listening.
Peace. Thank you for stopping by this here town of the Good, the Bad, and the Weird. We appreciate your listenership, and if you want more of our takes in your life, feel free to check us out on social media at The Good, the Bad, and the Weird Podcast, or TGTBTW for short. As well, if we missed a fact, your favorite part of a movie, or just have a suggestion and want to reach out and say howdy, feel free to email us at tgtbtwpodcast@gmail.com. And feel free to join our Discord at The Good, the Bad, and the Weird Podcast, where we talk about movies, just share random banter here and there. And always, check out our podcasters, streamers, or any other content creator we shout out in our episodes. We really appreciate it. And as always, thank you for listening. Peace.